Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about the subject of, are animals freer than humans? The thing is that they have different types of freedom. We have the freedom that we can kind of live through society and do the things that we want to do, being the boss, our own boss, whereas a lot of animals, they kind of are dependent of the place that they live in, the environment that they live in. And we're not just talking about the pets that we have at home. We're talking about, for example, the animals that live in the wild, the animals that rely on having to make food. Well, not really make food, but in order to rely to having to catch food in order to actually survive. And then also we have the animals that are endangered, the animals that are also taken into zoos, the animals that become pets. So they don't have a lot of freedom. Of course, we have animals such as squirrels and snakes and snails and ants and all these things, if you want to consider them as such, because they are animals. But we are animals too in some way, and we are constrained to the way that we live because we are constrained to how we have our own society, how we have our own way of being, how we are constrained by the fact that we have to make money in order to pay our bills, in order to buy the cars that we want to buy the clothes that we want to have, to basically have the things that we want to have, and even to have shelter. So saying that animals are more free than us, that's a big word, because yeah, they might not have the constraint of needing to have money, kind of like how we need to have money, but they're constrained by the limitation of their environment. And we are in some way also limited by our environment, but as humans, we tend to modify the places that we live in. So by modifying these things, by modifying our life, by modifying the actual way that we should have lived, really, because I mean, if you really think about it, we've done clothes, we've done cars, we've made houses for ourselves and all that stuff. And I don't think that necessarily that humans necessarily were meant to live the way that we say that we need to live. So because of that, I find it kind of complicated to say that animals are freer than humans. They are very dependent on humans in some way, like we are actually dependent on them. You know how they say that if the bees were to be extinct, well then we wouldn't have much food, because the bees are the ones that take the pollen, that take the seeds, that like basically spread all the love, spread all the stuff that basically allows other trees to grow, allows fruit to grow, allows vegetables to spread and all that stuff. So that's why they say that in some way bees would be in some big way the actual most important insect, important creature on earth. And sometimes I do also feel that we as humans tend to think in some way that we are better than other creatures just because we have that sense of being, that sense of consciousness. But who are we to actually say that the level of consciousness that we have is actually the correct way of consciousness? What if animals and the way that they can be always in the present moment, that they can always seem to figure out things that we have lost instincts on, such as being able to smell stuff much more than us, be able to see much more acutely than us. It's kind of like how they say, if you're looking for water and you're in nature and you have no source of water for yourself, well, the best place to look for is look at where other animals are going to be drinking water, because most probably that water will be good for you too. Same with the mushrooms that you would see in a forest and stuff like that. You would want to take and eat the mushrooms that are basically being eaten by insects. You want to eat the fruit that is being eaten by other animals, because you know for a fact that if animals are thriving on it, they have that instinct of actually being able to know, being able to tell what is real nutritious for them and what would actually poison them. And those are instincts, those are things that weren't actually taught to them, and they seem to know, and they seem to be able to tell, and they seem to be able to do all these things. And we just have this supposed bigger brain for knowledge, this supposed bigger brain for intellect, and that's how we react. So it's just interesting to think about these things. Are we freer? Well, we're kind of connected to them in the same way that they are connected to us, and that's all I can say. Okay, that's it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.